Hi everyone and welcome back to the coverage from an official event. We wish you a happy new year as well. We are live from Rome for the Italian Open, the first event here in Europe in 2025. I'm Marcello and I'm joined by Alberto.
Hi guys.
How have you been? Hopefully you have some great holidays, but we have an exciting tournament to start things off in a whole new season of Yu-Gi-Oh! And what a way to start things off. Last time we were here, we had quite an exciting event where essentially the finals was straight out of a movie, because Diego Ganzerli and Lorenzo Muselli, two former Italian national champions, faced off against each other. And incredibly so, later on in the year, it was the same final at the Italian national championship where in the end Lorenzo actually got the revenge and became back-to-back Italian national champion. So hopefully we can have a repeat of such an amazing tournament here. But just to give you guys some infos, we did cap out with 512 players coming from all over Italy, and not only, we have some foreigners from other parts of Europe as well competing. And we'll go through 9 rounds of Swiss today to crown the champion. And yeah, we definitely are looking forward to it. But there's been a lot of exciting news. Last time we were here, still in Italy, at YCS Bologna, where we saw again a lot of incredible duels, but a lot has happened. A new set, especially, and a latest Forbidden and Limited list, official from December 9. So I think we will talk a little bit more about those things in detail later on, because we don't want to keep you guys waiting. And as mentioned, although he didn't win the run back at the Italian National Championship, the official current Italian Open champion is Diego Ganzerli, and he's here again in round 1. What do you guys think? And Alberto can talk you through the round 1 match that we're gonna see.
No, funnily enough, we were looking at both players' decks, and Mario, Diego's opponent, is playing Kashtira, which is a deck that Diego and Lorenzo as well, they have been piloting in for the last 2 years or so. So I think Diego will be surprised, honestly, to see this deck.
Absolutely, it's again a very interesting one, because if he loses here in round 1, he will lose to the exact same deck that he brought to YCS Bologna, which I'm pretty sure Mario just completely, take inspiration from, if not copied altogether. And we'll see if he's able to defeat the master. But for the first time in a while, both Diego and Lorenzo are not maining the Kashtira cards, and instead they relied on what is Bystial Fiendsmith deck. So it will be an interesting clash, but I think without further ado, our players are ready. So let's jump into action for game 1. And here they are. Nice fist bump, and we'll see who wins the roll. I see a lot of interruption in the end from Mario, but no, maybe there is a planet, because otherwise he doesn't really have much going on for him. And yeah, this will be actually quite tricky for Diego, because although he's super familiar with Kashtira, he's maining he's maxing out on all the Bystials. He's playing the all 10 plus 3 Lubellions. And you know a deck that they are not really good against, the pure Kashtira.
No, I'm really curious to see why they decided to play this deck, especially because this is some strategy we haven't seen in a while. And maxing out on all the Bystials, maybe you just want to put as much pressure as possible on your opponent. And displaying also as well the Renegade and, like a very heavy package of Fiendsmith's cards.
We have briefly mentioned that one of the big news since YCS Bologna was the release of Crossover Breakers, which, although releasing, some support for all decks, also the elephant in the room are the new decks, which are mostly Ryziel and Malice, which we got a chance to see in action at YCS Anaheim, where Ryziel did win the event, but the new Forbidden Limited list was not in action, and so Snake Eye was a lot more popular, Tempai as well. And now we have seen a lot of changes, and those decks are not really that popular at the moment. So we want to see how our duelists have adapted during this holiday season. And here we see, though, a familiar trend. This is a similar combo that has won YCS Bologna with this Fiendsmith in Paradise addition. And yeah, seems like it's still working out. But overall, I think Bystials are really good. They are there to punish the Fiendsmith package in general. So they can be pretty good against the Rise of Fiendsmith deck. That's not quite what Mario is playing. And we can see that he's holding a good old rock.
Yeah, I mean, we can see that he has both Nibiru and an Impermanence, but I think it's just holding on to them and waiting for the right moment to activate the Nibiru. But as you mentioned, I think that the highlight of the day will be for sure the Bystials, which I think are the main, cards that will be played throughout this format, at least today. Especially because they are the most annoying cards to play against, especially for Rizal and Malice, of course. And I think it may make a lot of sense for Diego to max out on all of them, so to have all the responses needed to stop his opponents. But as mentioned, Mario is playing Kashtira. So let's see now the lineup Diego goes for. And I think in general we've mentioned this quite a few times, how he and Lorenzo as well came up with a very different strategy amongst our top players in Italy. Yeah. And always find their own way, to win tournaments.
Yeah, in general, they are a fan of free offs and high consistency, and this is exactly the same thing today. He's only playing 4 one-offs, and the rest of the deck is all cards in triple copy. So that's very rare in nowadays Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's working out for him. They most likely brought the same strategy, I would guess. They are very close. And here comes though one of the annoying cards with the King Caesar. Though we have mentioned that both Nibiru and Impermanence are there, but this deck is not really explosive. It's similar to the deck that won again YCS Bologna. It's more of a control deck where, yeah, as you can see, we are gonna see this Nibiru plus Impermanence most likely. Yep. But it's not like Diego gave up on anything at all. Like, the deck essentially relies on, grinding out, using your end traps, and just slowly taking away the advantage from your opponent. And also, something that I'm interested in, this is the main difference with the deck that Diego and Lorenzo were playing. They were not using Nibiru, because in Kashtira, it can be quite annoying, because once you have already a monster on the field, you cannot special summon your Kashtiras, and we'll see whether that will be quite annoying for Mario.
And as mentioned, I don't really think that this Nibiru will hurt Diego a lot, honestly, because here he can just continue, and he has some cards in hand as well. It's not really, I think, a matter of how many interruptions now Mario is holding on to, but yeah, I mean, I think the strategy here for Diego can work out very well, and I think he can also easily play around that Nibiru, given that he's only playing just the Fiendsmith card.
Yeah, and this is pretty much enough, as you can see. Gonna go for the Desire setup. And he's also already got the Paradise in the graveyard, and that is actually quite nice here, because with that call by, you can usually stop it, but in this case it's already there, so you either keep it for the Desire once it hits the graveyard, or yeah, we'll see how Mario handles it, but he really needs to find some engine, and I do think he picks up
planet.
Yeah, a planet, a Brazzo, yeah. But it's not really good against the Desire. But I mean, we've mentioned it. Diego is an expert on Kashtira. Like, he could have a PhD in it. So we'll see how he deals with it, but not at the moment. So allows the planet to resolve. And I think we have another planet.
I don't know if it's a planet or birth.
Not sure. But yeah, now we see the unicorn, and here is where we are gonna activate this paradise. Mario seems like he was giving up on the unicorn. He could chain this Callby, but obviously it doesn't work that well against the Desiree though. Yeah, and as you can see, the Desiree is then used, and this is quite annoying for Mario, because he gets rid of both cards in a go.
Yeah, I mean, we saw also YCS Bologna, the Fiendsmith in Paradise being played just a handful of players, and I think it makes a lot of difference to have it in the deck.
Oof.
Here also the effect Valor on defend, right?
Wow.
Oh, okay, the last card here was the bird.
Okay. Yeah, if it was another planet, it was all over, but it was indeed a birth, so there is a little bit of hope left, and it seems like he's resolving, so this is still not over from Mario. Got a bit of recursion at his disposal. We can take a look at what his extra deck options are. I mean, it's pretty much the staples you would expect. He doesn't play any other engines. It's just a straight up Kashtira deck. And yeah, this can be a little bit tricky to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell he's just having a think about that, because Diego, I think, is still holding 2 or 3 cards in hand. And what's the plan here? Because, of course, you have to deal with Desiree, and it's just, you know, trying to figure out whether he has a plan. Because, you know, he's just struggling. Okay, he goes with the Theosis. Diego allows it.
Yeah, the good news at least is that there is no sequence, so he's not really protected from targeting effect at the moment. And yeah, here we get to resolve the Rice Art. Yeah, I think the punishing... okay. Also, we have mentioned that Diego's deck is completely free offs, which is actually quite bad for the Riser, because it's a card that can be quite effective in nowadays decks at disrupting a lot of the one-offs, but it doesn't really work against Diego. It's like 36 cards that are just free offs. So.
No, but I feel like the bringing Kashtira into this tournament, I think it gives you a lot of consistency. And at the same time, I think it's still super annoying to playing against the deck. The thing is that you didn't really want to face someone like Diego, just because he has been playing the deck for, you know, quite a few times, and is super familiar with the deck in general. So...
ooh, I think... wow. I think he tried to actually attack and
right?
use the Ferrier, but it was negated by the Veiler. So that's quite unfortunate. Yeah, little bit of pressure getting to Mario. I mean, cannot really blame him. You're up against a really good player, former national champion, and playing on stream in round 1. It's always tough. You don't really wanna, you know, start things off like this in the day, but this is still just game 1, so even if he were to lose this one out, he should try and, you know, shake the playoff and try to keep his nerves for the remainder of the match. And yeah, now he's forced to enter main phase 2. The most he can do is just get rid of this Desiree, but we know that the Fiendsmith deck and the way that it's getting built at the moment has so much recursion thanks to the star, which is the Lacrima, that just keeps on coming back every turn, gives you so much advantage, and he's pretty much out of resources at the moment to stop Diego in his tracks.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell it's just trying to understand whether he can survive another turn, because later Diego, I think he'll just push enough, but here, yeah, he's just having a big think on which XYZ to summon, but yeah.
And yeah, in the end, he just relies on this Shangri-La, and yeah, unfortunately, I mean, as you can see, Diego is just gonna negate everything and move on with his turn. And yeah, having negated even the birth, he's completely free to do whatever he wants. And I mean, we've mentioned it, he's completely used to the deck. He knows how to play Kashtira perfectly, and therefore he knows how to play against it as well. And the biggest news for him is that now he has full information, so he knows what to expect after siding. So
yeah, I mean, he's fully aware of the deck, and I think this is the advantage of being a player like Diego, always, you know, trying to play different strategies, and you know, they played out the Kashtira deck for a long time, and I mean, funnily enough, I also saw that he's siding in some Kashtira cards.
Yeah, I mean, you can never fully take Kashtira cards away from Diego. At least he's not maining them, but yeah, he's gotta side them. And yeah, here comes one of the bosses, we could say, with this Chaos Angel, and that's it. So, attempted fist bump, but unfortunately failed. And yeah, game one goes to Diego. I mean, as mentioned, kind of a heartbreaking start from Mario, who now needs to, you know, keep his nerves in check and decides how to approach his side deck. I still think he's got a little bit of an edge if it wasn't, you know, for the play. At the same time, though, his side deck doesn't look like it's targeting this deck at all. He's probably expecting mostly, you know, Malice and Raizio, and I wouldn't even know what he could bring in for this matchup, because Rivalry can be decent, but like, you know, depends on which part of the deck you're reading, really. And from the rest, he has mostly going second cards, which at the same time is kind of surprising, because Kashtira, unless we see like Mario deciding to go second on purpose, which could also happen, Kashtira is definitely, you know, able to even OTK or just like go second and push. I think Shifter is obviously the MVP card and the card that he really wants to pick up. On the other end, we have mentioned Diego has a lot of entrops in the main deck, and they are really not that great against Kashtira. So in the side deck, he will try his best, but similarly, he doesn't really have much for the deck in general. So probably just bring in this Kashtira package, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could make sense. So at least he plays with, he has 6 of them. And especially because like his side deck is not focused, of course, on the Kashtira match. But yeah, I mean, I think consistency is the word to be used for Diego's deck in general, like all 3 offs. And I mean, I really feel like, you know, on this type of match, of course, he has, you know, the advantage of also winning game 1 and now in game 2, honestly. I mean, of course, as mentioned, Mario has a lot of going second cards, but would you take the risk of going second against Diego? I mean, it's a bold move.
You can think about it, but yeah, I don't see a way to tackle either deck too efficiently. I think they gotta rely on their engine mostly. And something quite important to mention for Diego is that Kashtira Unicorn can be quite impactful nowadays, with a lot of decks playing 15 different extra deck cards, but he's actually playing 2 copies of both Requiem and Desiree. So his main engine is not really gonna be too affected by it, and that's important. Obviously, you can still hit the sequence, but you know, the Desiree can still be accessed by the Paradise, so we'll see how it goes. But I think our duelists are ready, so let's jump back into action. Okay, never mind. I was about to say, I think I see a lava golem, so I was expecting Mario to go second, but I'm pretty sure that's a lava golem. And he just cited that for going first, I guess. This Fenrir is resolving, which is good news. Okay. Yeah, he's going through his deck, which allows us to, you know, take a peek at what he might have sided. Doesn't seem like he has made up his mind and goes actually for a Scarecrow. Wow. Interesting pick. Might already be holding on to a lot of other engine. And yeah, it's a lava golem, right?
Yeah, it's a lava golem,
Yeah.
and I think Ash.
Probably Rysart, I would expect. Yeah, Rysart is there. Let's see if it resolves from Diego. Ooh, and a side deck card. That is gonna hurt so much here. Obviously, mainly targeting Malice. It's the best answer by far for that deck. But just happens to be there. And
Also the Ash on the thrust.
wow. Very quick game chew, it seems, at the moment. The one copy of Trust, by the way, that Mario is playing. Only one is drawn, but unfortunately stopped by the Ash. And that's it. Pass. So only a Fenrir protecting Mario at the moment. Again, Diego's deck is not too explosive, but wow, he's got a Fenrir of his own. And this is big, plus the Perlerano. He's just showing him, you know, disrespect of playing Kashtira cards against him. He's like, I'm gonna show you how it's done.
And now I'm curious to see if Mario going to activate the Ash on the planet, and he does. But I mean, because like it could, I mean, it could confuse you, know, because you never really see the Kashtira cards in the game one, and I mean, honestly, I think here. Oh, but looks like Diego's just entering
Makes
battle
sense.
phase. Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, this is so great. You get rid of everything, then in Memphis Shoe you can still play, and I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. It's worth mentioning that he's not playing the one Rysart, so this is just gonna be the Unicorn, as you can see, which makes usually Unicorn a better start than Fenrir, but in this case, the one Fenrir. Oh, never mind. He is just the goat. He has the nerf of his own. Then that's great. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what a start from Diego, and we were mentioning this while they were side decking, and I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense to play these cards in the side deck, and also like going second in general. I mean, they're very good, especially to give you access to the Fiendsmith combo. And yeah, Mario is just left with 2 cards, and
yeah, the issue is also that Mario, I don't know if we can call him greedy, but like he searched the Scarecrow, which means that he's holding into one of the worst Kashtira pieces as well. So even if he, you know, was to find a way to come back, you know, he has made it a little bit tougher on himself to be able to accomplish so. And yeah, as you can see, this is gonna be quite similar to what we have saw in game one. Maybe this cheeky lava golem going first could help him out, but yeah, I think Diego is playing it super well.
And now here we see the Ptolemy, which honestly I haven't seen in a while. It's been quite a few times.
It makes a lot of sense because, as you can see, when you play such a grind deck, you can use it to recover your entraps. It just got back an Ash, which makes it even tougher for Mario to come back. And yeah, I think that's it. So playing it extremely caution, and one draw for Mario. He really needs a way to stop this. He can use this lava golem, but unfortunately this Scarecrow is not really gonna help him. So he needs to pick up a Kashtira monster to have any hope, and he does. No, I cannot quite see.
I think
it might be a Fenrir, isn't it?
Maybe, yeah. It's another monster for sure, but can't really quite tell.
Fenrir would be quite good, but I mean, nothing too incredible because the Ash can still stop it. But at least yeah, it would be pretty strong.
Here doesn't have much options. Like he has to go lava golem, then
if it's Fenrir, yeah. But If it's not, I think he still is forced. Yeah, this Lava Golem definitely not expected by Diego going second, but is there a pickup? No, apparently. So Diego pulls the trigger and decides to go right away for this Fiendsmith in Paradise setup. Makes sense. He wants to use this before any Kashtira can come up. And I think this almost seals the deal, because even if Mario has the Kashtira, you can use the Paradise. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's almost checkmate. And it was a really good top deck. But Diego has the Paradise. And yeah, this is very well maneuvered. Since we have a chess tournament as well nearby, we can say this is a checkmate by Diego almost. Who is gonna, I mean, Mario's gonna try his best, but as mentioned, this decision to search out the Scarecrow is punishing him at the moment. And yeah, now every card is known. Yeah, you can see Mario shaking his head. Unfortunately, he's trying to figure out whether there is anything that he can do. And yeah, here comes the Typhon. Getting rid, or at least, you know, doing this combo, if we can call it so, recovering his own Lava Golem, but now he's completely naked, we could say, in front of Diego, who has so much going for himself. And yeah, start things off by using the Birth. Again, this deck is just represented by so much recursion. Every single engine that he's using, from the Bystials to the Kashtira in the side deck and the Fiendsmith, are all about using, you know, one card to generate advantage. Maybe not the explosive fields that we saw in 2024, but, you know, the good old days of grinding it out.
No, but the deck is super consistent, and I mean, we've said it for the last year in 2024 how good the Kashtira cards were and still are, and I think by themselves they do so much, and he's just playing 6. So it's, yeah, I mean, another planet here for Diego is gonna bring out another...
The last unicorn,
yeah.
I think.
That's the last remaining one, and I think here it makes a lot of sense just to play, you know, a deck that is both consistent and aggressive at the same time. And funnily enough, we haven't seen a single Bystial.
I mean, we did mention it, they're not great against Kashtira for sure. But yeah, it's definitely good news from Diego that he didn't pick up many of them. He's counting it out.
Yeah, should be enough. Yeah.
And yeah, here comes the handshake. Very well maneuvered by Diego. The current champion takes a 2-0 lead. Well, what a way to start things off at the Italian Open live in Rome again. Diego, last year champion, managed to win quite convincingly. And, you know, in what is still a fun match, because he was facing off against his own deck and his own exact almost deck list that he brought to YCS Bologna, but he changed it, switched decks, and maybe that was the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think what also gave Diego the advantage was being super familiar with the deck.
Yeah,
you know, he has been playing the deck for the last year, and you know, when you face it off, honestly, I mean, you also can feel like, okay, I have my chances. I know the deck in and out, and I think he piloted it against Mario incredibly well. And especially because, like, we saw in game 1 how good Diego hand was. I mean, the Nibiru and the Impermanence as well didn't hurt much. And in game 2 as well, I think it just was, you know, like the interruptions from Diego were very well performed, and I think he has his chances, honestly, to advance deeper into the tournament. And
Yeah, I mean, hopefully now that if we'll get the chance to interview him, we can ask a little bit more about his deck and his choices. I would say that overall, I mean, we have seen this quite successful partnership, we can call it, between Diego and Lorenzo, who have won the last 3 Italian National Championships in a row. At the same time, though, I wanna point out a trend that I'm noticing, which is that they are consistently, at least ever since the last year or so, refusing to bring the best deck to the field. And I'm not too convinced about it. I feel like at some point it gets into a matter of, just perspective of being, okay, no, I don't want to bring it. I want to find a solution that works for it. And I know by experience that sometimes that can be a risky game. And I'm interested in seeing it because this deck is essentially very close to the deck that won YCS Bologna. But we have mentioned it, a new set, a new list. A lot has changed since then. And I'm not too convinced if that's gonna work out. Hopefully they'll prove me wrong and they'll win the Open yet again. But yeah, I definitely wanna hear it from the man himself and get into his brain a little bit more. So thank you guys for being with us. This was the end of round 1, but don't go anywhere because we'll go on a short break and we'll be back with Diego for his interview.